Ramblin' Man Moto here. Hello, hello, hello. It is early morning, or morning. Early's relative, but today is the day for my 5K service on this 22 Indian Springfield that I bought the day after Christmas in 2023. I'm now at 5,501 after that trip to Skyline Drive. It was pouring down rain all night, and I'd been keeping an eye on the weather. There's thunderstorms maybe this afternoon, but I'll be back before the afternoon. We have a logging truck all the way up ahead. Rain is of course kicking up from the cars in front of you, so my visor has rain on it. I don't know if you guys seek out gloves that have one of those little rubber squeegee like things on the end. Some of my gloves have that, some don't. I never really paid attention to it, but with bugs and rain, I'm finding it'd be nice to have it sometimes. So this also gives me a chance to practice in the rain. One thing about riding in the rain, as you guys know, the bike is going to be absolutely filthy after all this. That's a bummer. I have a 9:30 appointment, and this is estimating a 9:26 arrival. I like to be early. Not that early. I mean, I don't like this. It doesn't leave much room for error. Traffic. Usually I aim for about something like this 15 minutes early. Because the roads are so wet, I'm not sure I'll be making up time today. You never know out here in the country when you get caught behind grandma, a logging truck, a tractor, a tree down in the road. Something after these rains. I had taken the practice of times of driving my truck with a chainsaw in it, because you never knew you might come down this road or a side road and have a tree down. The other issue is standing water. They've made some improvements since we've been out here to this, but it's still on some of the side roads, even, you know, with your vehicle, with a car or truck, it's some pretty serious standing water, which you're not supposed to go through. This dealership, I've had my issues with them. I try to be supportive of the dealers, because you never know when you're going to need their help. We don't have many of them, but they make it tough, I'll say. Just say that. And part of me feels like if I'm 5 minutes late, they're gonna like cancel the appointment or lecture me about how busy they are. I've noticed this habit when I sit around there, like today. I plan to wait for my bike, and I've heard the owner, there's two owners, I've heard one of them talking to the employees about what they should say to customers, and it's always from the premise that the customer is either an idiot or is a liar trying to take advantage of something. And it comes across when I've talked with them. For people who don't ride motorcycles, I'm not sure they even give much thought to the rain. You know, a car, in a lot of ways, may just drive the same. You know, of course we know there's hydroplaning concerns and braking changes, but still a lot of people never change their speed. They can take a curve the same way they always would. I'm talking rain, not ice and snow, but with a motorcycle, at least from what I've read and my practices, I slow it down considerably. And maybe overly cautious, I don't know. I haven't ridden in the rain a ton. Some by design, but others is luck. But like this curve right here, like normally I would be above the speed limit with no problem. I'm just hypersensitive to the wet conditions and the tire. this dealership that I'm headed to, I had a couple of, I hate to use the word run-ins, but just not great conversations. And to be fair, he apologized after one of them when he told me I needed to stop talking. And that irritated the living hell out of me. And it turns out I was right. Ended up getting Indian involved on something. And this guy clearly does not like corporate Indian. If to believe his side of it, which I'm not disagreeing, but to believe his side of it, Indians always out to screw the dealer, and they come up with wording, and the customer like me doesn't understand it, which really bothered me because I can read the English language on a coupon. And Indian told me I was right, but they had an employee, who may still be here, who when he called me one time when they did something on my bike to tell me it was ready, he was like, well, while it's here, do you want us to do an oil change or anything else? And at that point, I don't think I had ever changed the oil myself. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of busy. That's a good idea. Why don't you guys just go ahead and do the oil change? And then he goes, sorry, we don't have time to do that. You'll have to bring it in another day. And so I thought I'd give the feedback to the owner, like, what the hell? You guys call and try to do an upsell? And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. No, I don't think so. And the owner said, but you can totally sympathize with this, that he can't find anybody to work. He said, like, basically nobody is applying, and you know, some of that, whatever, I'm not commenting on the business itself and whether people do or don't want to work there, but it's something that we're all faced with. The government is incentivizing not working in some situations. And basically he was saying finding quality talent is a challenge. You know, I've replaced the battery in this thing. I've made a note to ask them if that would have been covered under warranty. Of course, I think the answer is yes, but I expect no love or help, given that I replaced it myself, with getting any sort of credit that I may ask. This thing of speed when it's raining is one of those things where I'm hesitant to practice higher, because the consequences of being wrong are what they are. One of the ideas I ripped off from my dad years ago was anytime I take my car in to get service, most of the time, unless it's something really, really routine, especially if it's a problem, you know, some of it's routine maintenance, but I'll make a note of even that stuff, but it's to write it down on a list. One, it helps keep me straight, but what he did was, or what I do, I don't know if I've done a variation of it from all this time, but is he would give a copy to the service advisor, but he would also take a copy to like the steering wheel when he got out of the car. Now, these days, the parking attendant may get it. I think I leave mine on the seat, but with the motorcycle, it's a little harder. I mean, I guess I could tape it up here. I haven't done that yet. I do have the type sheet, but I give it to the service advisor, which can be hit or miss. But anyhow, I made a list for today of, you know, this is the first time I've taken the bike to the dealer. I try to like remember what it was like when I didn't ride, and when I was in a vehicle, I probably thought, hey, motorcycles are more nimble. They ought to be getting up the road. It never crossed my mind that the rider might be inexperienced or not good at what he's doing, or that the rain conditions meant they had to go much slower than maybe I did. Never crossed my mind, really. Can't say I gave it a ton of thought. I also wonder how much of the slipping in the rain obviously is the tire itself. These are the stock tires that came on it. I think, I assume the prior owner did not put new tires on them. I did check the tread, and you know, honestly, I didn't actually look at the name of the tire on this one. I did use a tread. I mean, you could tell it was fine anyway, but I had a tread measure device. Of course, you can do the old penny trick, but I swapped out on my Super Chief when I put the new wheels on it. I changed the tire brand. I don't know if I can't remember if I went with the Dunlop, like American Elite or something. And I've ridden that in the rain and haven't had any issues. So I don't know how much of this is how much tire pressure I have in it, the brand of the tire. But when you feel that occasional little slippage, that's not a great feeling. I have not lifted this bike up on a jack yet. I've gotten in the lazy habit of washing the bikes while they're still on the ground. I do have a lift, but I bought it from my Super Chief, and I'm gonna have to check the weight. This bike is heavier than the Super Chief, and I also need to check where the points would be on it. It took me a bit of learning to figure out how to lift that Super Chief, and I still get nervous every time I do it. But cleaning off the tires and stuff and accessing some stuff would be easier if it was lifted for sure. So I don't tend to clean the wheels and tires too much. You can't even see them.